Hey everyone, my name is Megan, and this is Painted and Distressed. Today's video is a little bit different, but it's so much fun. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. I am going to take this bench that is my mother's, that it's cute, but it definitely needs a makeover. She's screaming for one. She's a little yellow. She's got some distressing, which was intentional, but it's just not really the vibe, we're going for anymore. So I'm just showing you a close-up here of some of there's some distressing that's intentional and some that's just, normal wear and tear. This is a really nice piece of furniture too. So first step, I am going to take my husband's electric sander for the first time. And after he gave me some instructions on how to use it, since I have never really used one before, I got to work. Now you can see here it's starting to take off that yellow. And I believe there was polyacrylic on there. I typically do not use that on furniture just because it does have a lot of yellowing over time. That's my garage floor. Ew. So I have to say that this did not take long at all to sand. I'm only sanding the top part of the bench. I'm not going to sand the bottom part at all. And I actually had fun. Typically, sanding is not my favorite thing to do, but this was actually fun. Now, I'm not used to working with nice actual wood furniture, so I got out my tack cloth because once I started sanding, I was like, oh no, did I go too deep? I think I went a little too deep, so I started hand sanding because I thought I went too deep in the wood. If you see in the top kind of right corner how it's lighter wood over there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to ruin my parents' bench. And so I got so scared I started hand sanding. And because I didn't want to ruin their piece of furniture, and so I was going to do whatever it took. And so I just got out my Dollar Tree sanding paper, and I was just sanding around, all the paint and everything. And then my husband comes out in the garage and he says, what are you doing? What happened to the electric sander? And I said, I think I went too deep. He says, no naturally occurring wood is ever that dark. That's a stain. You're fine. So got back out the hand sander, and as you can see, it revealed this beautiful wood. How gorgeous is that? It could have almost just stayed that color. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just getting off the remaining, bits that were a little bit more stubborn. And I did have this sander hooked up to our shop vac, and so I had very, very minimal dust, which was amazing because, again, sanding is not my favorite part of any furniture project. I try to avoid it as much as possible because I just don't like sanding. However, with this electric sander, oh my gosh, I had fun actually. I actually enjoyed it. It gave it such a nice smooth finish, and yeah. And so, so I'm just getting off all of the bottom, just the little stubborn pieces, and I just made sure that it was completely even and had a nice smooth finish. I also went over with a smoother finishing grip sandpaper, just to make sure that everything was completely smooth and evened out. So then once that was finished, I got out my tack cloth again, and I just made sure that there wasn't any additional dust, and just made sure it was smooth for sanding. Again, I really like this color. I could have left it that color, but I decided to use my Behr water-based stain that I've been absolutely loving lately, and I just used a regular Dollar Tree sponge, just from the cleaning section, to apply this stain. Now this is a water-based stain, and it dries very quickly, and it has no odor, which is amazing. However, I was staining this on an extremely hot day in my garage because I am an idiot sometimes and don't think. So it dried very fast, so I had to work very fast. So I actually ended up taking a break and waiting until it cooled down in the evening and then restarted this project because it was drying so fast and so uneven. And also it was hotter than Hades in my garage. So, that's just a little tip. Make sure that, it's not too hot. And so I did have a few little areas that I felt a little uneven. So I just went back in with a lint-free rag and just went over those areas just to make sure I had a completely even, smooth, stained finish. And then I took some 400 grit sandpaper. It's very fine, and it's just to finish it off, to give it that glass, smooth as a baby's bottom finish on the top, because I wanted to make sure that this was very smooth, very even, So the next part, we're going to be painting, and I'm making my own chalk paint. All you need is some calcium carbonate, which I got from Amazon, and I would not suggest using this plastic container from Dollar Tree that I'm using, but I could not find an empty glass container to mix my paint. So all you have to do is you just mix a little water slowly in there until you have it like a goopy consistency. And so I just add a little water at a time, slowly, and just mix it up until I get the correct consistency. It's going to be very smooth, kind of like goopy, kind of like butter almost, sort of. It's just a very smooth consistency. I do have the complete directions located in the description box down below if you are interested in making your own chalk paint. It's so easy, it's so cost effective, and basically any paint color is at your fingertips, and it's amazing. And you don't have to use this just for furniture. You can make your own chalk paint for any project you want, and I love the finish this gives. It's awesome. Love it. So once I have that completely mixed up, then I'm taking this Behr paint. Now you have to make sure, I typically buy just a sample size, but they didn't have sample sizes available at the Home Depot that I went to, and so I had to buy a quart. But they were very nice. Anyway, so I'm just mixing 8 ounces, which is the sample size. And you do have to make sure that it is in the flat or matte sheen instead of, like an eggshell or a gloss or something like that. You do want to make sure that it is flat or matte. And so I'm just mixing you have to make sure to mix it up in its entirety completely. Again, I don't use this container to mix it. Use a round one, and preferably something that's airtight, so that way you can shake it up and you can reuse it and all that good stuff. And I've used this several times on furniture. I've made my own chalk paint for quite a few years now, and I love the finish that it gives. This particular color by Behr is called Poppyseed. It's a black, but it has some blue undertones to it, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. And this is the color that my mother chose, that she wanted the bottom portion of her bench to be painted. So I'm just taking a regular brush and I'm just painting this. Now, you don't need to prime the surface just like any other chalk paint. You just apply it. I didn't have to sand or anything like that. Now, because there is this glossy polyacrylic on the sides of this bench here, I would have probably only needed one coat because it has such good coverage, just like any other chalk paint. But I did not sand it, and so I did have to do 2 coats. And I probably would have done 2 coats anyway, just to ensure that all the surface was covered. And I always make sure when I'm painting furniture is to go with the grain of the wood, or at least to go do longer strokes, so that way you cannot see paint strokes, if that makes sense. So I do longer strokes with the same way that the wood grain goes, and that way I get a nice smooth finish. And you can also use roller, like a roller as well, but I like to use a very fluffy paintbrush when I'm painting furniture. It gives me the best coverage, and it also gives me the best finish. So it's very smooth and very buttery, and this color is just so gorgeous, and the end result is incredible. I mean, it's hard to believe that this was the same piece of furniture. So I'm just going along. I wish I painted this fast in real life. That would be amazing, but you know. And so I'm just going along and just painting it. This is the first coat, and of course I go through and paint a second coat, as I mentioned. So to add a little interest to this piece, I thought I would, for these little wooden dowels that are on the bench, they're on both sides of it, I took a little spray paint. This is in the color Champagne Mist, and I just sprayed a little bit on a detailed brush, and I painted on them. Now, it didn't give me the coverage that I wanted, and so I just took some of this Folk Art brushed metal gold paint and then my detail brush, and I just painted over them. And I do go and clean up the areas a little bit. And then to finish off and seal this piece, I like using the Sloan clear wax. And there's all kinds of different products you can use. Of all the different products I've used, I have been using this for years and love it. The smell is not the greatest, but the outcome is the absolute best. It gives you a matte finish, but you can buff it if you want a little bit of a sheen to it. The consistency, it's kind of like, it's like butter actually, and it helps protect your piece from any type of element. I mean, it's amazing. If someone leaves a glass on your table or something like that, and you have this Sloan wax on it, it helps protect the surface. I do not have any cup rings on any of my furniture thanks to this wax. My daughter has colored on I don't know how many pieces of furniture that I have had this wax on, and it comes up. I can get anything, crayons, markers, anything. Nothing has stained this piece, even Sharpie. Now, it did take a little bit of scrubbing, but I got it off, and this stuff is amazing. I love it. I just happen to have a stockist that sells this, so it is a little bit harder to get, but it's worth it. You can buy it online. I just really like it. I know Home Depot does carry, like Behr has their own chalk paint line, and they do carry their own wax. I've never tried it before, but I believe the consistency is very similar. And Sloan was the inventor of chalk paint, so, she kind of knows what she's doing. But anyway, so I'm just going through and sealing the entire piece. I wipe in small sections at a time, and I swipe it the same way that I paint. So if I'm going up and down, then I use the wax up and down. This is just to remind you of what the bench looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Isn't this amazing? It's hard to believe that this was the same exact piece. Now look how it looks a little blue in this picture with the lights on it and everything. It's different lighting. It looks black or it looks a little blue. It just depends on the lighting, but I would love to know your thoughts down below. And how do you think I did? Do you think I should have left the top in just with the regular wood, or do you like it how it was stained? And I thank you so much for watching this video in its entirety. If you haven't done so already, can you please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And if you'd like to check out some of my previous videos, they are linked here. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!